I know nothing about you, Henrix. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I'm from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
How did you discover your abilities?
Like many psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Sorcerer's powers are truly dangerous. I hope you have mastered your abilities since then.
When I arrived on Holy Terra and was tested, I was found to be suitable material for becoming a sanctioned psyker, able to bend his curse to his own will. I can assure you that the adepts of the Astra Telepathica were right in their assessment.
Tell me about the Black Ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psykers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers. Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
You were sent to the Inquisition straight after the training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
How long have you served in the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
You have visited many worlds during your service, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terra, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the Segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
For someone who's been in service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today. Gladly.
You are not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people, The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I have been working alone.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Do you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
Are there any acolytes in Coroner's Expanse? The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointment sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize that you will not be getting an answer.
Such as?
What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Thank you. Greetings again, your lordship. Governor Medina offers Hendrix a somewhat strained smile. Master von Kalox, it pleases me to see you in good health. I hope that you accomplished what you intended to at the electrodynamic connobium. The interrogator nods without saying a word. After an uncomfortably long pause, Medina clears his throat and quickly turns to you. I can't express how grateful I am for your help. Now that the insidious heretic's designs have been thwarted, nothing stands in the way of my plans or yours. With Aurora dead and spirit of the revolt is waning, entire squads of rebels are surrendering. We are witnessing the final days of the uprising. I have already signed your order to allocate 2,000 first-class Voidfarers to you. The transfers to your ship should begin any minute now. I would also like to salute the savior of Raikan miners, and I have already a festive celebration to be held in your honor. We will celebrate your victory with an ancient custom, the Triumph. You will drive through the city street accompanied by a group of honor as benefit a hero who vanquished the Imperium enemies, while your trophies will be displayed to the jubilant crowds. Let me know once you have concluded your business in the system and are ready for the triumph to begin. Governor Medina is positively ablaze with enthusiasm. I'm ready. Excellent. We'll see each other at the square then. May the lights of the throne be with you.
Activating motive force reserves.
Come on then. Your Lordship, Peel as Lord von Valentius, I am the Master of Ceremonies of Rykard Miners. Everything is in place for your triumph. Allow me to give you a brief summary of the upcoming event. Speak. You will take the road now familiar to you from here to the starport. You will be accompanied by your comrades in arms and the guards of honor. The body of the heretics known as the Prophet Aurora will be pulled in your wake as the battle trophy. A stop is planned in the middle of the road. The grateful citizen will rush towards you, praising you for the salvation. Not to worry, this is thoroughly choreographed interlude. The group of the grateful people will be composed exclusively of the loyal citizens vetted by us, members of the military, young people attractive and physically fit, a few healthy children. Once they have said their praise, the procession will move on. Governor Medina will await you by the starport. It is also where the pyre has been built to burn in the body of the heretic known as Aurora. You will be handed a flame blessed by a representative of the ecclesiarchy. You can choose to personally perform the burning, but if you wish to undergo the amicable alliance between House von Valentius and House Winterscale, it will be fitting to pass the honor to the burning to the Governor Medina. However, the choice is yours. An excellent plan. I'm ready to start the triumph. Of course, your lordship.
Whatever you wish.
Surrounded by evil, repelled emblems, Aurora Corps looks like a tiny island of gloom in a glorious ocean of your impending triumph. The governor's people must put a lot of work into preceding the body from decay as well as sewing off the grim iron face mask. A dead prophet has the weary and remarkable face of an utterly nondescript commoner. The one aberration of her appearance is many small mouths on her cheeks and forehead. They have been painstakingly sewn shut with a thick thread and plastered over with a layer of face powder. The cosmetic transformed the heretic's face into an eerie mask. The corner of the mouth is frozen in a hint of grin, rarely mirrored by her lesser mouths. Are you pleased, enemy mine? The grin seems to ask. I will hunt down all of your accomplices, whatever they may be, and they will all follow into the fire. The sound comes in response, but as soon as you blink, the corner of the corpse's mouth seems to move upward to the hair's breadth. Or is it just your imagination? Make way, let us get a hero. A small group of festively dressed people rushes towards you. Glory to the Von Valentis dynasty, glory to Netis, a hero of Rikard Miners. A steady, beautiful and finely dressed woman calls out your name in a sonorous voice. It isn't until you take a closer look at her face that you recognize her as the Captain Requel, the Palliot you met in the Racketfilia. The grateful citizen wished to present gifts to the Redeemer. The Master of Ceremonies' sugary voice almost brings a taste of honey to your mouth. For whatever reason, you know for certain that right at this moment the gaze of our dead, empty eye socket is fixed upon the back of your head. A thought surfaces in your mind, not a voice inside your head, no, a mere thought. They are all going to die, befuddled, deprived, never having seen the truth, and it's all because of you, enemy mine. It is my pleasure to protect the Imperium world and its honest inhabitants. May the light of the eternal terror shine on us all. Rikard Minus honors the Empire and bows to his most loyal servants, the Rogue Trader. I'm sensing something boundless, blue, golden, dark. A grimace contorts Henrik's face. The interrogator lifts a hand to his temple as though struck by a sudden migraine. What? Behold, behold, behold the final dawn. You're being all cute there. You're being all cute. Sounds not comfortable there. Cool. That was cool. They just destroyed the sun. Imploded. And final dawn. The darkness is here.
You dare cross an agent of the throne?
am a navigator, not a servitor.
Nice.
Flesh is weak, yet iron knows no pain.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I'll do it. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury! None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Pain cleanses the body.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Isn't this a job for the serfs? If I may. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I'm enraged!
Oh, this will leave a scar.
Let's see to it. For the throne, your reckoning is due. Let's see to it. Focus, Bancalux. Focus.
Pain and duty go hand in hand. Victory is imminent. I will do my...
High momentum.
Someone else can do this. Indeed. No matter the cost. A tactically sound approach. At your beck and call. One fewer tongue.
Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, eradicated.
Activate calculated fury algorithm. Request approved. My vow is to serve. Messiah. The Messiah condemns you. Running by Nerika's right.
I need a foothold. But of course, Lord Captain.
Me? If you insist, Lord Fur painted black. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Naturally, be gone. Let's see to it.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Brace yourself, Abelard. It will be done. Reduced to dust. At your beck and call.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Faith without deeds is worthless. Guided by faith, I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer.
Step aside. Not sanctioned to do this. For the throne's glory. Your reckoning is due.
Step aside. The navigator is coming.
It will be done.
Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Yukon Beat comes alive. Vigdis' voice struggles to get through the thundering static. Log, Tian, this is Master. Please style immediately. Sunday. Vigdis, what is going on? Obtain efferent repeat. An otherworldly cacophony, which until now resembled the rumbling of distant cannon, suddenly swallows you with its full intensity. The warp energy seemingly bursting out of the thin air, rushing inside you, expand mind like an unstoppable wave of filth. For a moment it feels like your head might explode, but then the sensation retreats, leaving in its wake a different one, that of someone touch on your temples. Hendrix removes his hand and shakes his head as he's trying to drive away whatever is assailing him. His voice trembles when he says, "A simple solution to stabilize your condition. Keep it together. Do not give it to the force trying to take hold of you. I shall fear no darkness, for light is within me, the light of my faith in thee. I shall flee before no enemy, for there is no enemy more terrible than cowardice, and I shall overpower it." Argenta prays aloud, all the while checking her equipment with deft fingers. Red, black, a lot of blinding white fear. The whole city's quaking. No, the whole world. Let's talk more action. What's Victor saying, Lord Captain? Are they going to send a shuttle for us? We must move out towards the spaceport at once. The shuttle aren't going to find us here, even if the comlink stabilizes, which we want. We are en route to a starport. That's the start. Pending of obs, a spinning of the star vacute. The com falls silent. Many eyes stare at you. Does anyone have any idea what just happened? Final dawn, Argenta says furiously. We stopped short of puzzling out the enemy's entire plan. Oh, Emperor, forgive us for this negligence. I swear we will find out to right it. We will find a way to right it. Only an incomplete picture, Henrik sounds deadly serious. Every warped active person on this planet is sensing the presence of sorcery. It's rising like a tsunami. I have hardly ever encountered anything like this in real space, and, most remarkably, the sorcery is still growing. I cannot, however, say what set off this reaction, or where the light has gone. A chill runs down your spine. You seem to feel Aurora gaze upon you once again, only it is not coming from her corpse any longer, but from everywhere. All we can do now is try to make it to the spaceport. Bad news, but unexpected. Rogue Trader, we must help these people evacuate. The Emperor himself has entrusted the fate to us. The sense of alarm keeps growing stronger, as does the sensation of intent gaze fixed upon you. Let's move out.
It is my destiny to traverse the unknown.
This master-crafted patella augment is not fit for a servitor.
How dare you!
Calculating optimal route.
Do you think you had one enemy in mind? You vanquished Twilight. You cut down Aurora, but she was only one of us. You hear me? From the depths of the Death Stone, from his prison of cold metal, he will rise. The hour is nigh.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch.
I can sense the slight pressure in the atmosphere, like a distant psych echo. I presume it is a result of the massacre that happened on the streets.
Suffer not the heretic to live!
I will level you!
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Indeed. At your beck and call. I will do my duty. I've suffered worse.
Doubt is for the weak. without deeds is worth... As the Emperor commands, I act. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. My faith shields me.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
I'll do it.
I've suffered worse.
Let's see to it the Inquisition sends their regards.
At your beck and call. Indeed. At your beck and call.
I won't object to it. But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it. Scorn the pain.
The old Messiah knows all, comprehends all. Running binary.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I won't object to it. Let's see to it.
High momentum.
I may?
Brace yourself, Overlord!
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without the eradicated. Doubt is for the weak. I am his will made manifest. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands. Faith without deeds is worthless. The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. I will not.
I won't object to it. Let's see to it. Naturally. For the throne's glory.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Guided by faith. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Emperor, deliver us!
High momentum.
Let's see to it. But of course, Lord Captain. I won't object to it.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done. One fewer target.
does a lot of damage.
Request approved. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I am a navigator, not a servitor. Do not dare ask.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Doubt is for the weak.
I'll put my psychic abilities to use. For the thrones. Naturally.
Actually beneficial.
Victory is imminent. I took care of this one. Tried and tested tactics. As a
As the Emperor commands, I act. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart.
Let's see to it. I'm done with this. I feel the power surging. I won't object to it.
Spawn another one. Huh? Absolutely not.
Be gone. Someone's death wish is mine to grant. Let's see to it. Naturally. Nothing stands against me.
I saved it.
Nothing.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful. Running binary probability analysis successful.
If only that were possible. Emperor, give me strength. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Is the reward. The Omnissiah's vital function successfully terminated. Running binary override. Reading damage to bulk.
Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I won't object to it. But of course, Lord Captain. I won't object to it.
My place is at the fort.
For the throne, your reckoning is due. Get me a target. Naturally.
High momentum. As the tactical imperative dictates.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. My vow is to serve. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me?
Blessed be the road that we take.
They're coming one following in the other footsteps, the aurora of the morning and the aurora of the evening. The anarchy of the starport will distress the hollow machine spirit of the Voidcraft, rendering them deaf to all litanies of pulsation. The shuttle we use for the evacuation must be handled with caution.
Let's proceed.
Light of terror,
More enemies
guide
to
our
face
way.
judgment. We are truly blessed this day.
No? Oh, so what did I level up for? What did I do?
Step aside. The navigator is coming. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Battle formation is broken.
Kill me with one hit. Didn't expect that.
Emperor is with us.
I will take you down.
Strike is a prayer.
Nice.
This is unacceptable. Rejoice in battle!
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Ah!
No! These ruby flashes are choking me.
The Emperor favors me today. From the cold Empress,
Okay, now
our Emperor,
he is ruthless.
deliver us.
Another color has faded.
Running binary override. The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Running binary override.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I need a foothold. But of course, Lord Captain.
A tactically sound approach. Indeed, this ocular implant was a worthwhile investment. I will do my duty. It will be done.
Die! 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 Advancing. Request approved.
Really?
My vow is to serve. Request approved. The Omnissiah condemns you.
Lost.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Emperor, give me strength. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
No. Fuck's sake.
Victory is... just a minor setback.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Everyone, step aside. I won't object to it. Let's see to it. I'm done with this one.
Duty prevails. Never doubt me.
What advice do you seek? Field medicine at its finest.
The Emperor favors me today. I better myself through my service.
How can one find the right way without his light?
The stench of Visaline and the blood blankets the spaceport. Echoes of shout and gunfire drift over the landing pads. The shard of plexiglass crunch underfoot. You recognize Sergeant Maglar amidst the crowd huddled next to the shuttles. He was the soldier who greeted you upon your arrival on the Riken Miners. The sergeant's chest is fitted with a sturdy-looking flask of as-bearing insignia customary among your troops. One of the enforcers you sent must have given it to Mangler as a gift. A group of bloodied and frightened people is wedged between Magla wardens and the shuttles. You recognize them as the governor of the planet and a member of the high-ranking garage. Their expensive attire has been torn in a fight and many bear wounds left by bayonets. Examine the people in the front of the shuttle. Some of the nobles are paralyzed with fear, others have succumbed to despair. Two corpses are lying on the ground with their arms outstretched. Black blood has pooled under one of them. The other skull has been split open like a nut, enriched by a pinkish crimson halo of bone splinters and bits of brain matter. Point the weapon at the surgeon. How dare you treat highborn officials in such a manner? So, since my people aren't highborn, they can be treated however you like, is that it? Magla lets out a bestial growl as he turns his face you. I'm not letting anyone go. I'll show them what it's like being left for dead. Our esteemed governor, his gang of cronies have been cowering behind us, and now, when things got rough, they thought they could scarper and leave us here to die. We shed our blood for him and broken our backs to provide for him. And after all of this, you think that's fair, you piece of crock shit? Mangla's stun-bait pattern hits the governor in the chest, causing the adornments on the governor uniform to jingle in unison. The governor spills out blood and opens his mouth to respond when his head explodes. His body falls limp to the side, his remaining eye staring upwards. The chorus of the noble screams cannot drown out the surgeon's spiteful whisper, "Enough! You said your piece." For generation upon generation, the nobles of this world cared for Reckon miners and ensured the prosperity of the inhabitants. And this is your gratitude, peasant? For killing a nobleman, you deserve to be executed where you stand. Cassia throws out her hand, and Magla knees buckle. My mentor was right. The rabble truly have no honor. Abelard looked at the governor's body, his brow furrows. Madness, punishable by death. We don't have time for this, we need to get out of the shuttle now. Look at yourself, servant of the god Emperor. Whom do you serve, humanity or his foes? How dare you speak of justice with kindred blood on your hands? Lower your weapon if you value your soul. Magla raises his gun at you only to immediately lower it. His hands are shaking, shame and despair are showing through his mask of bloodlust. For crying out loud, your lordship, sir, how could you say such a thing? A dull thought comes from the deep within the spaceport. Heavy footsteps shake the rocketry air, raising an unpleasant tremor in your bones.
You thought you had killed Aurora, false believers. For I am Aurora. I am the herald of change. Behold the final dawn, and die!
With fire and vigor, our Emperor, imbue us!
The disgrace of Monarchia will be avenged.
If I may.
Naturally.
Indeed. It will be done. At your beck and call.
I won't die.
Oh,
Gives us strength.
Emperor, protect the fallen.
fuck's sake.
Explorers know one route. Forward. Running by Lyric override. My vow is to serve.
Follow my lead. It will be done. I will do my duty. It will be done.
The colors, they are fading.
Observing the loss of a unit. Request approved. Running binary override. Request approved.
Pain cleanses the body.
Absolutely losing this.
I refuse. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I will not. This is
no.
unacceptable.
You mustn't.
Flesh is weak, yet iron knows them.
This is gonna be an annoying fight, I think. My taunt doesn't work either for some strange fucking reason.
You thought you had killed Aurora, false believers. Tremble, for I am Aurora. I am the herald of change. Behold the final dawn, and die! Anathema observed. Commencing purgation protocol.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Doubt is for the weak. Guided by faith. That is not the Emperor's will. As the Emperor commands, I act. My faith shields me.
Step aside. The Navigator is coming.
At your beck and call. It will be done. At your beck and call. My ears are ringing.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Now you're clad in scarlet. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it. I won't object to it. Let's see to it. Throne take you.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. I'll do it.
But of course, Lord Captain. For the throne's glory. I'll put my psychic abilities to use. Let's see to it.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
It will be done. I will do my duty. Victory is imminent. We'll rule the stars themselves. It will be done. At your beck and call. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
That's not the Seneschal's job. I will do my duty.
battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Isn't this a job for the witness, the fury of House Orcelio? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds. I will endure.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I'll do it. Rejoice in battle! Doubt is for the weak. Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act.
High momentum.
Naturally. But of course, Lord Captain. For the throne's glory. I won't object to it.
High momentum.
Request approved. Beyond desire, go!
It will be done. Victory is imminent. I'm not interested. At your beck and call.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Only terror. Smite your enemies.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Focus, Van Kellogg's. Focus.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it. Power resides in the will of the righteous. Faith without dignity. Doubt is for the weak. I will not. I'll do it.
Let's see to it. Naturally. Get me a target. I won't object to it.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful. Running by Eric Override. The spiritual prognosis is favorable. Cogitation fails.
Let's see to it. But of course, Captain. I won't go down easy.
It will be done. I will do my duty.
My vow is preserved.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Guided by faith. I'll do it. For you, my Emperor! Doubt is for the weak.
Let's see to it. I won't object.
Armamentum.
Request approved. Significant value.
Increpitus has survived an encounter with the heretic Astares. His color will blaze in raging crimson, thanks to Emperor that our souls are unburned. Now I've seen it all, your lordship. The traitor has fallen while we still live. Praise him for his miracle. Thanks to the Emperor you are alive, your lordship. We are mostly gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. Before anything, I will hear an account of what happened to the system's sun. The Vox Master falters. Lord Captain, we saw a number of ships approach the sun. Black creation of inhuman make, amalgams of sharp angles and edges. They surrounded the star and then, my apologies, but I struggled to find words that could describe the terrible sight. The Xenos made the sun vanish into the void. The interrogator closes his eye and grimaces. Drukhari. You see Abelard's expression change as if the shadow has suddenly fallen over him. He wraps his temper warily, as if we didn't have enough troubles on our hands already. The Xenos, the enemies of humanity. Hernix nods. A breed of the Aldari, the most cruel and devious of the kind. The design of the ship matches the description provided by the Vox Master. Like all Xenos, the Drukhari are a blight on the face of the galaxy, but the technological superiority is indisputable. They abhor and fear warp sorcery, which is why they rely on creation of their own twisted intellect, and many of this creation are capable of things that may seem akin to sorcery to the unenlightened eye. The theft of a sun is one of the examples of what they are capable of. Are the Xenos in League of Aurora's cultists? We can rule out that possibility. The Drukhari would never ally themselves with the arch-enemy worshippers. If I had named one thing that humanity and these Xenos have in common, it would be a sharing loathing for a warp corruption. Hendrix glances around. The situation calls for immediate action, Nethys. We can continue this conversation later if you wish, but right now, he gestured on the deck teeming with tumultuous activity. I believe you should assume command. What is the current situation on board? The navigator's sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp's engine is still refusing to obey the Engerseer. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes anxiously from the Vox. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparation for a prayer service. If the Omnisha grants me comprehension, I will appease the machine spirit of this vessel. Why did you not send a shuttle on the planet for me? I do apologize, your lordship. We are unable to receive your request for evacuation. The Voxling was overrun with vile interference, screams, blasphemous hymns, and other equally sinister noises. Any who listened to the interference for a protracted period lost their sanity. Several dozen operations went mad monitoring the Voxcaster in a hype of hearing your voice. Each one of them waited in vain. What is happening on the planet now? Our auger operators are reporting numerous uprising and other manifestations of the arch-enemy powers at various locations of the planet. Based on the fragments of communication picked up by our Vox operations, there is particularly no resistance being offered by the governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to the blasphemous final door cult en masse and assembling in prayer circle. Do we have any hope of retaking the planet? I fear that Raycon Minor is lost, the situation deteriorating by the minute. We must leave this system as soon as possible. However, there are still people on the planet who have not succumbed to heresy and who are worthy of rescue. Besides the small number of our own shuttles, we also have shuttles salvaged from the spaceport. The dark eyes of the Sister of Battle flash. We must save as many as we can. This has all happened for a reason. Saint Argenta, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of dying worlds through the power of prayer. The God Emperor himself sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saints and her followers up to the sky, away from the corruption and death. We must do as she did, direct our efforts to saving those people who at this moment look to heavens in hope of salvation. The lives of peasants are of little value. Our prime objective is to save the holy relics, the miraculous fusion reactor, and the Electro priests who guard and tend to it. Abelard furrows his brows. Every moment we spend in proximity to the dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk. Your life, Lord Captain, is far more valuable than all the Raycon miners. The von Valentius dynasty cannot be allowed to perish, And so, lamentable though it is, we must rule out the idea of evacuation. Henrik's eyes, like two deep, dark pools, are resolutely fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its inhabitants along with it. The disappearance of the star was the final nudge towards death, the final of the call of the final door plans. I once witnessed a similar event, a world that had surrendered to the servants of the archenemy and permitted corruption to enter too deep. At this moment, millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation, and they are willingly giving over their souls to chaos, a sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to safe distance from the planet and conduct target bombing of the Electro-Priest Monastery. If we blow up the reactor, the thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. In doing this, we'll save millions of souls from a fate far worse than the death, and we will save Reich and miners from becoming the outpost of the arch-enemy. Whatever fate you choose for this world, I urge you to take haste, Lord Captain. The planet is burning in raging flashes of crimson and purple. I can see it even from orbit. And do I see that the storm is already upon us? With every moment that we waste, it grows ever more difficult and perilous to steer the ship through the warp's turbulence currents. I'm with the lady on this. Enough talking, we need to get out of the area as soon as we can. Okay, set an optimal course and carry out an orbital strike on the Electro-Priest Monastery. Reikon miners must fall. Yes, Lord Captain. I will immediately inform the navigator and alter the decks of the impending maneuver. Hendricks inclined his head. The righteous Lord Commander, may the sacred exterminatus cleanse the valve of corruption. The bridge is upheaval. The technomat's prayers mixed together in a senseless cacophony while servitors work hastily to remove the hardened grasp sacreds and unguents from the warp engine components. In the middle of all of this turmoil stands Pascal with a data slate clutching his hand, seemingly disconnected from the fury of activity around him. What is going on here? The warp sextant is not responding to command. The ship's spirit is rejecting our prayers in anger. I am currently calculating a plea on my pleased noble spirit. Magos, why don't you assume the control of technomods? Surely their contribution will speed up things. There would only be a hindrance. I am searching for a way to rectify the error. Pascal is muttering without talking, taking his eyes off the data slate. There is a certain anxiousness to the way he moves his machined rights. Pascal, this is now your ship and your temple, so start acting like it, you blasted cog. Pascal shoots you a look of fierce pride and says with gravity, "You are right, this is my temple," his voice bursts of power. "Tech comrades, heed my instructions." The mayhem immediately subsides and the crew action fall into some indescribable logic. The omniscient servants start working in sync and the Binharic clamor becomes a symphony of reports which the Magos coordinates like a skillful conductor. Do not ever act like a spineless greenhorn in front of me ever again. It will not happen again. The prayers of the tech priests surrounding the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a machined right towards you. Please take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. A huge machine in front of you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depth of your mind. The typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the omniscient creation. Among the numerous controls, you see the mouth of a cyber cyber gargoyle, the same as at the gate of the warrants chamber. Pascal voice booms, imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine god, heed my command. Acolytes, prepare the incense instrumentation for the liturgy of machine spirit prohibition. Senior technomats, recite prayer to generate accurate data reports. Operation will be made with the campanological protocol Omniscia Rejoice. I must inform you that the purpose of safety, complete reassembly of the warp sextant and updating of its deathsmith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at launch the volume of aggregate calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts. But as we do not have the 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit the procedure. Pascal looks down on the data sled in his hands. A minor deviation from the right of operation for the sake of appeasing the spirit. Listen, can't you do all this without me? I'm not servant of the Omniscia after all. This statement is true. In another temple of the Omniscia, only his servant would be able to propitiate the machine spirit. However, the architects of this vessel infrastructure made unsophisticated changes to the standard structure of the congregated network. Displeasure creeps into Pascal's voice. To equip the bridge with the machine that would permit its use by lay people with a specific biological signature, members of House von Valencius. Deviating from the right of operation, that sounds dubious, especially coming from you. Dogma bids that the appropriate ritual of cleansing and reassembly be carried out on a warp sextant. This long and labor-intensive process, Pascal hesitates before continuing. Our best chance is to bypass the sacred prohibition and directly interfering with the conduits of the multiforce, a faster and less orthodox route. The lives of the entire crew now depends on my convicting the ship's spirit to start on a broken component, is that right? Your interpretation is varying on heresy, however, given your rank, Lord Captain, I will nevertheless respond. For a layperson, you have described your position with relative accuracy. I place my hopes in his revelation and humbly ask for your guidance. So what must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the cogitator guardian, the cyber gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypts. The dynamic blood extractor from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it we will offer our prayer so that we may bypass the protective protocols and deactivate connections and launch the warp sextant. Pascal's voice grows quieter. The laws of Omniscia would no exception, and so it is ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and may we receive his blessing. The metal jaw clamps down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath and releasing warm red liquid into its gullet. At the same moment, the image of the vid screen before you changes. By my authority, I revoke the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. One of the cogitators' vid screen turns red. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling to the rest of the tech priest, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omniscia, make now the offerings of the cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that it may fill with the true and calibrated data. May the Omniscia have mercy on our souls. In mixed solemnity, the acolytes offer up the cleansed data clips to the warp engine, one after the other, repeating prayers of exhalation. After anointing the contact with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the cogitator slots. Your head begins to spin from the holy senses, foul-smelling clouds of smoke, and from the loss of blood that the cyber gargoyle continues to drink from you, and the world swims before your eyes. Lest his mechanics awaken in renewed purity, Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head, watching the vid screens. Suddenly he stops dead. No. His fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command. His mentioned writes, clicking the pincers, put on a lever after another. The vid screen filled with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos. What is happening? After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted in the cogitators begin to emit sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next burn into flame and gives off a small smoke. Around you, the omniscient servants break off the prayers, and some burst into frantic bleeding. Pascal mournfully grates out. The mass of errors of the warp sextant calculation is destroying the data repositories. The offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motivations. We are trapped. A moment later, the Magos continues uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative raise and protocol, or an emergency launch at the auxiliary coils. The tech priest bends over to Cogitator, but something in his pose and movement reveals his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks and strategic image changes. Pascal is too engrossed in the ritual to notice. I'm reading the information. Magus, a moment, if you will. Pascal turns towards you, his flickering visor betraying his anxious state. Lord Captain, he stops short when he seeks the vid screen. Distorted transmissions from the data core, most likely the residual cognitive function of the built-in servitors. Omniscia shield us from machine ghosts. You return to the manipulated Cogitator's command runes. Machine spirit, can you hear me? The Cogitator's servants creak quietly in his joints, a sound that is drowned out by the biorhythmic hymns of the trapped of command runes. Machine spirit, this is the Lord Captain of this vessel. Obey me and start the warp engine. Pascal's voice shakes with tension. That was an non-excusable request, Lord Captain. Even if the voice receptor could intercept such a... Pascal Net's vocalization goes unseen as sees the vid screen begins to stabilize one after the other. The strings fragrancy galloping across the green backgrounds are replaced with stable images or regularly updating status reports. Only one monitor remains inexplicably red. The tech priest's voice crackles in shock, but he reports as clipped and clinical as ever. Registering warp sextant activated. Registration data stream stabilizing. Registration 0 data errors found. Reporting the warp engine is ready to translation. After a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its function and in defiance of the activation. Lord Captain, Ravosier. The crew are almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've received confirmation from the engineering halls. I don't know what you did, but the warp engine up and ringing to go. We are ready to begin translation to warp, Your Lordship. The Lord Captain speaking. I give order to commence translation to the warp. Waiting for you to ascend the Captain throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us.
Von Valancia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void shift plunged deeper into the Corona's expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Celia informs me that they have reached the point where we can translate to real space in a Furibundus system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. The Furibundus system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Coroner's expanse. The Tech Priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp, and to allow the servitors of the Omnisha to inspect and heal the void ship wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time, which our astropathic choir will use to establish connection with the prime worlds of your protectorate, Dargonus, Dianus and Kivagama. Master Zahari Weish has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Materium. The Liege of the Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rock trader of the Von Valancius dynasty. According to Master Zahari, the message was timed with the shades of bleeding quote. Apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible. Footfall, the place where the fifth and sanctity go hand in hand. Revered Hirondus Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Nethys. I will be leaving your void ship then when we arrive on Footfall, Nethys. Once this is done, consider the logging visitor task complete. Your Lordship, young Evane Winterscale has asked me to convey his gratitude for your hospitality and for saving him from certain death. Not wishing to outstand his welcome, he plans to disembark at Footfall. Lord Evany swears he will not forget his debt to you. I hereby informed the rock trader that during the comprehensive system inspection raid, this unit discovered data clusters with the captain cogitators and are concealed from prying eyes by means of personal cipher and the sacrament of algorithmic authorizations. Unit Nethys von Valancius has been added to their access list and assigned the identifier keeper 2. The unit has accessed the data from the captain cogitators, provided that the possession of the decryption key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's mechanical voice. Are you leaving, Hendrix? The arrangement between the Lord Inquisitor and your predecessor was that I be transported to Footfall and no further. I do not ask advantage of your generosity and patience, and more than I already have, Nethys. You're a skilled fighter, I could use people like you. What do you say we extend your stay in my retinue? Thank you for your offer, but I must decline. I'm afraid my duty to the Golden Throne comes before everything else. Agenta, who is this revered Hieronymus? Who wants to talk to me? He is the head of the Drusian mission of Footfall and one of the most prominent clergy in the sector. Paying him a visit is a good thing for any local servant of the Emperor to do. I assisted his mission before I joined Lady Theodora on her voyage. I need his blessing to accompany to the new rock trader of the Von Valancius dynasty. If you wish to have me on board your void ship, I request that we meet with Reverend. Victis, tell me about the system we are arriving in. Furbundus is valuable due to its close proximity to the Maw, the gateway of the Imperium. The system is most known the Footfall, the main base for merchant privateers, the rock traders traversing the Coroner's Expanse. Additionally, the star itself is orbited by a Adeptus Mechanicus station, which is off limits to outsiders. Alter Temptum Kelly's X-17. I have the honor of tending to his shrine for a few thousand cycles. I suggest you abstain from visiting it, as the most tech comrades at the station are engaged in meditative calculation that should not be interrupted. What do we know about the Foothold? It is the largest post of the trading capital of the Coroner's Expanse. It has a dockyard that will allow us to inspect and repair the void ship and impose into the astrographic wire the Coroner's Expanse communication nexus. Not to mention pirate hideouts, smuggler coaches, and forts belong to a dozen gangs, groups, and factions. In the Coroner's Expanse, the Imperium relies on this as this outpost. The fringes of humanity domain rarely resemble its central worlds, but so long as Footfall serves as a god emperor, insofar as it can, it will be considered a citadel of the Imperium. Although I have heard that this tithes, its sends are underwhelming to say the least. Due to the Foothold remoteness, it has developed its own rules and customs. Many of the goods that can be produced there would be considered heresy in the heart of the Imperium, enough to warrant summary execution. Moreover, Foothold is the domain of the rock traders, who transcend certain Imperial laws by the virtue of the warrant they bear. So the Foothold is just a brief stop. What's next? As soon as we solve this issue plaguing the ship and establish contact with the key worlds in our protectorate, the time will come for your Magnae Accensio, the official ceremony of donning the mantle of drug trader. It is mostly a formality at this point. You already possess all the privileges granted by the warrant, and yet it's a major milestone in your personal history. The moment your name graces the list of heads of the Von Valencia's dynasty. We are looking forward to that day, Lord Captain. Abelard, do you know anything about the League of Footfall? Liege of Footfall. Vladim Tokara is a very particular young man. Consider your upcoming conversation a baptism of fire in Footfall political arena. Such things are not spoken out loud, but Liege Tokara is the appointee of the Kazbalika mission, the largest robber barony crime syndicate in the Kalik sector. They specialize in the occult trades, the buying and selling of all kinds of Xenos rubbish. Footfall has previously run by the Liege who did business with several criminal factions at once, but he suffered an accident. The reins of power were picked by the Tokara, whose appointment benefits not only the Casablanca, but also the most powerful aya in Coroner's Expanse, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. Vladim is slippery yet very cautious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is not a fool. Fools do not raise this high in the Kazbalikan hierarchy. Keep all this in mind. You are a rogue trader. You stand above him in status and wield considerable power. Having said that, history has seen cases where Casablancan barons cross swords of rogue traders and emerge victorious. Do not forget that and remain vigilant. The Kazbalika vile tech thieves. Pascal Vox breaks out the last words like a epiphany. Why does he want to see me? Not you personally. He wishes to meet with the rock trader on the Von Valencia's dynasty. Tokara does not know about Lady Theodora's death and is simply seeking the audience of the powers that be. My God is telling me that something must be very wrong with Footfall if our astropath managed to read such strong emotion in such an anodyne message. We have no information, O Captain. The broadcast from the Footfall Astronomical Choir was the only message Master Zahari has received lately. Tell the Lady Navigator I give the leave to make the translation from the warp into real space. Victors begin issuing instructions. The massive ships appear to change with the very world. The bridge is set in motion. As hundreds of people start to prepare for a shift to real space, a measured chanting fills the corridors of safeguard of vessel and its crew. Victor stands to you. One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise and you inheriting the title. Liege Tokara will be informed as is required so we can use the dog, and besides, he is expecting a personal audience with the rogue trader. He will not meet with the unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still a matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive at the station with a proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit incognito. I've decided, tell the Liege I arrive officially as a rogue trader. It will be done, Lord Captain. Victor's bow again. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. You may be interested to know that the group of officials was discussing a grim rumor over lunch. Word has his apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately. Yes, you heard right. They say she is hunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. This quiet has spread throughout the ship as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes entire kilometers apart. The Vox Master leans closer to you. Master Henrix von Kalox expressed interest in your communication station and Vox Nest a short while ago. The interrogator appears to be very well versed in the matters of sacred technology, and it worries me. A man of his knowledge and his line of work is capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our system. We will be vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be more careful as well.
Greetings.
I have enjoyed your company.
To what do I owe this visit?
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
want to know the truth about you.
The request is approved. I did conceal certain information. I was a student of Archmagus Amanat, but I committed an act of betrayal after he deviated from sacred dogma.
What did he do?
He fell into schism and challenged the sacred boundaries of knowledge. The blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and false worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
The Amaranth of yours has died in a wool heretic.
He did not abandon his faith in the Omnissiah. He deviated from the ancient imperatives. But the wisdom of the blessed Amanat was so obvious, it made many others doubt the dogmas and follow his lead.
How did you betray him?
The teachings of the blessed Amanat spread, and word of it reached the conclave of the Cognizance fleet. They recognized his teachings as tech heresy. Many tech priests suddenly vanished or were subjected to servo penance for minor transgressions. The students of Amanat, whose number included many enlightened and respected brothers, resisted. My prognosis showed that our most likely future was a schism and a fratricidal war that would destroy the Cognizance fleet. That was when I headed to the Conclave. I confessed and handed the information about my mentor's research over to the Conclave. Brazen, anathematic studies of the Forbidden Law. The Conclave could use that data to summon Archmagus Amanat to stand trial and compel him to repent on pain of excommunicate traitoris. His subsequent fate is unknown to me.
You betray your mentor.
This statement is true. However, I took this step out of loyalty to my mentor. He rejected caution and was leading us to a blasphemous war where he would become the first and most important victim. I did not want to witness his destruction and tried to force him to submit. I wanted to return to my mentor and share his fate, but the Conclave found me repentant and sent me to the station Alter Templum Calixis EXT-17, where I was to atone for my previous transgressions.
You act as loyal son of Imperium should.
I pray that the Omnissiah grants us wisdom to overcome the dialectic differences that divide us.
So why did you go to Regal Minus?
I was summoned there by a message that was encrypted with the Blessed Amanat's personal code, and could it be interpreted in several ways. One thing was certain: we were in danger, and I had to go to Rycat Minoris.
And Diablo, who is he?
I never met him, but I think he was a person of worth. The phrase that came from his lips indicates he was in contact with my mentor. I preserved his cortical implant and absorbed the information it contained. However, the large amounts of data memories are encoded with a cipher yet unfamiliar to me.
Why going to the next then?
I was wrong when I assumed it was the blessed Archmagos Amonat who assumed the guise of Abel Haneman. But there is a connection between him and the Reverend Abel, and I intend to uncover the nature of this link. Acknowledged. May your late...
You seem to have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said by the broken lens.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
What does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
Maybe you should warn her.
Oh yeah. You go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her? Or maybe the danger's coming from her.
Your voice is full of animosity, but you also detect concern, even a hint of pity or compassion.
Of course.
Lord Captain, Raven's voice over the vox sounds weary rather than annoyed. I'm getting reports of several ships moving towards us. Judging by the fact that they are not responding to our hails and telemetry show a trail of macro batteries, they are not here for Chinwag. Ready to issue orders to prepare for battle at your command. Where'd they come from? I haven't encountered them before. The rubbish of Fearboons, and I'm not talking about these wrecks that are about to open fire. I mean the remnants of meteorite, gas clouds, refuse from shipyards. It all bunches together and the small ship hide behind it to harass ship as they emerge from the warp. Can this be Kundrid Volkvir? The silence over the Vax lasts several seconds. It's possible. He could have hired some scum. Or maybe he's just a pirate who saw the state of our ship and decided to push it back. Can we evade the combat? Previous snorts and perhaps chuckles. I don't think so, Lord Captain. There's been no reason to. It'll be easier to blast these scum to smithereen than to evade them. We'll warn Footfall we are coming with a few macro salvos. Okay.
The skeins of fate can lead us to victory.
We are vulnerable.
The decks are trembling. Another hit and we will be
We
drowning
need
in
to
the void.
restart the void shields.
Captain, the station airlocks have been sealed from the inside. The Vox recorder is starting at the priesthood of the Some do have no desire to communicate with the Letony and are refusing access to the guests of the base of the adaptive mechanism privilege of involatility, granting them sole jurisdiction over the sacred site. Hello, Captain. We have flagship Daddy's blessed with a small escort dead ahead. They are requesting direct Vox channel, punching you through. The Vox channel clicks, and after a brief pause, a dry, low voice hails you. Greeting, Lord Captain. I am honored to speak with the rogue trader of House von Valencius. May your name be known through the ages. Carries Captain Asterius Thorfast, bearer of the free charter of the merchant fleet. How can I be of service? What are you doing here? We developed supply routes for Charstins. You see, my ship is a representative of the merchant fleet in this part of Imperium territory. We do not have a fixed charter, definite trade route. Our mission is to establish business contact with voidfarers in need of regular ship repairs and those who are interested in specialized goods. From where do you source the components? Are you asking me to disclose our supply to you? He laughs airily. Well, frankly, they came from both everywhere and nowhere. We get our wares either from lucky voidsmen who stumble upon an abandoned or disbanded ship somewhere in the neighborhood system, or from unlucky ones whose sorry tube arrives on foothold in a such state that it's easier to take her apart than to restore her. I would like to know more about Merchant's fleet's operation in the Coroner's Expanse. For the most part, all the Expanse has its fleet of different organizations or small flotillas of merchant ships. Uninterrupted communication between worlds is a matter of life and death for many outposts of humanity, so even in this dark corner of the Imperium there are chartists and ships signed to the various adeptus. Alas, the Expanse has next to no stable trade routes, so the job can be precarious at times. Then again, no one is more intimately familiar with the hardships of a local commerce than the rock trader. The welcome procession is not particularly long, but it does attract attention. Everyone is dressed in the finest appear, every button gleams. Standing in front of the others is a woman with clearly expensive implants. She bows in solemn courtesy. Rogue trader, Footfall welcomes you. On behalf of the Liege, Lord Vladimir Tokara, allow me to express my joy at your arrival. The Liege awaits you at his residence, but should you have other business to conduct in the station, I'll be honored to serve you as a guide. Cassia lips curl slightly. This is so familiar. Behind the amber-colored scatter of the words welcome, far less appealing hues lurk, murky and diluted. The look of someone accustomed to lying and hides their intentions. Idra jerks her head, shakes it, and hisses through her teeth. Someone's coming, and they are coming for us. Watch out, Lord Captain. Abelard sighs and cautiously places his hands on his weapon. Who's coming, Gabriel? Judging by the voices, there is a lot of them. Angry. They've got teeth, but they aren't that sharp. Their strength is the numbers. Pray that we Pray, what are you talking about? What could you mean by such a cryptic pronoun? She doesn't get and say the rest.
Hey, newcomers! How's this for a warm welcome?
Don't you dare to cross us!
You